Yo, what's poppin' guys? Kaizuki here with another Genshin Impact video, and today we're going to be talking about the best support character in the game. Now, in this video, we're going to be determining who that is exactly, right? And the the contest here is between Zhongli, GeoDaddy, CEO of GEO, and Femboy Bard Venti, right? Husbando and waifu, the holy duo dinity, whatever you want to call it, right? They are they are unmatched in terms of support, in terms of utility. And one thing I want to make absolutely clear, this is a support only, pure support, right? So we're not taking into account burst DPS, because if you were, Zhongli would be the easy win because Zhongli can do some crazy burst DPS with his meteor, okay? And of course, we're also not talking about main DPS because again, Zhongli would win in this category. That's right. You go tell him. You tell him, Zhongli. So there are two main things we want to talk about. First of all is crowd control, and second of all is just general group utility. So crowd control wise, Venti has his ultimate, which as you can see here, sucks all these enemies into one spot where you're easily able to attack them with someone else, be your main DPS or your burst supports, right? You could attack all of them, they're all in one spot, nice and easy, okay? Now on Zhongli on the other hand, his E, if you hold it down, you get a shield and a pillar. Now this pillar attacks enemies, and your shield, well, makes you pretty much unkillable. You can avoid mechanics, you can just kind of stand there, let enemies attack you, and you see nothing is happening, right? Nothing's happening at all. Now keep in mind, this is a shield bot Zhongli, right? Shield bot, not all Zhonglis are going to have shields this strong. I'm only at 43k shield currently, but I intend to get up to 50k. So yeah, basically shield strong. You can avoid most mechanics in this game. Just let the enemies slap you and you'll be completely fine. The only time that you still need to worry about mechanics really is in Abyss, because Abyss is the only challenging content in the game currently. So yeah, basically it comes down to shields versus tornado. If you are in need, or if your team is in need of shields and protection, like say for example you play a Xiao where he's your hyper carry, you want something that's, you could swap into Zhongli, you could pop the shield, swap back to Xiao, and then all of a sudden you could go into your ultimate and not have to worry about any damage at all, right? The only damage you'll take is your ultimate damage, for Xiao, for example, right? Xiao, the reason I'm using as an example is because he is my main DPS, he's the character I know the most about, but yeah, this goes for any DPS in the game, okay? But I will say, if you are a Xiao main, which there's a higher likelihood you are if you are watching my channel because I make lots of Xiao stuff, but if you are a Xiao main, then Zhongli, I'm just going to go ahead and say it, Zhongli is the best support in the entire game for Xiao, okay? Easy. Easily the best support in the whole game for Xiao. So, and that's talking about shield bot Zhongli again, because you want the shields, so you're going to run, full HP. I'll just show you real quick. You're going to run artifacts, triple HP, HP, and then for your weapon, you could go Deathmatch, you could go Black Tassel. These are good free-to-play friendly options, or low-budget player options in terms of Deathmatch, right? So those are great. Favonius Lance also works quite well. But yeah, so if you're going Shield Bot, which is, again, this is the support guide, the support comparison, okay? I would highly recommend that sort of setup. And also, Tenacity of Melaleth is phenomenal because not only do you get additional HP, but you're going to get an attack boost for the rest of your team. So Zhongli is providing even more utility there. Now for Venti, on the other hand, he's going to be running 4-piece Viridescent Veneer. This is absolutely amazing, amazing for elemental carries, right? If you're using him with like Diluc, for example, you run 4-piece Viridescent, and then it's going to decrease the elemental resistance of the enemy to your main DPS. So, for example, if you're running Diluc, then you could get fire resistance decrease, debuff on your enemies, and your main carry is going to be doing more damage. Now on Venti, aside from his artifacts, I'm also running the Viridescent Hunt on him. I like the crit rate bonus it provides, which is great for giving me a little bit extra damage. However, I am running this because I do not have Stringless. Stringless is an amazing choice on him, okay? Other good options include the Favonius Warbow and the Windbloom Ode. So, both of these have great utility with their sets. Both of these will provide stuff to your team. So it really depends on what you're using. If you're using a carry like Diluc or Ganyu or any kind of like reaction-based carry, then I would highly, highly recommend Venti, right? Venti is phenomenal at providing group utility for elemental damage. Now if you're running like an Anemo carry or a Geo carry, or anything like that, highly recommend Zhongli because, well, you don't care about elemental resistance as much if you're like a Nemo, right? The swirl, you can't swirl with a Nemo. That's not how it works. Therefore, it's kind of wasted. Venti is a little bit wasted on characters like Xiao. I hate to say it. Another thing to keep in mind if you are a Xiao main, again, I know this seems very biased towards Xiao, but speaking from experience, Venti's ultimate does not allow you to use Xiao's plunges in Xiao's ultimate. So if you try to plunge while enemies are stacked up in the middle, the damage will not reach them. At least if you have your Venti level up, which you should. You should always level up your Venti, by the way. Make sure you level up Venti and Zhongli as much as you can, okay? So, basically, Xiao or, Anemo or GEO teams, you're going to want to use Zhongli. And then for most other elemental teams, Venti is great. Now, there's also no reason you can't use both. Like, for when I'm just running around the overworld, I like to use both Venti and Zhongli because I like both characters. I find them fun. I find them enjoyable. I just like seeing them, okay? It makes me happy to see these characters because I like them so much. So, there's no harm in running both of them. So, for a Diluc team, for example, you could run Diluc with Venti, Zhongli, and Xingqiu, and there you go. Yeah, you won't have a healer. Like, I don't have a healer now, but with Zhongli's shield so high, if you know how to play him right, you probably won't need a healer in anyways, unless again you're in Abyss when you might want to bring a healer. It depends on your ability to dodging, depends on how often you keep the shield up. So yeah, those are other factors to consider. Another thing to keep in mind for these characters is that Venti is just plain better for big groups of enemies, right? If you're fighting like 10, 15 enemies at one time, like say the Spiral Abyss stage has just a bunch of enemies and you're just fighting all of them, well then in that case you're going to want to use Venti because Venti is going to group them all up, make them easy to hit, and you're going to be able to just DPS them down really fast, right? If you're fighting just a boss, like a singular boss, then Venti's ultimate is honestly useless because besides, Swirl and Viridescent Veneer bonus, you're not going to be getting anything out of his ultimate. You're not going to be getting his main utility, which is grouping enemies, because bosses are immune to that. So, in that case, Zhongli all the way for the Petrify. Again, for crowd control terms, Venti's ultimate is better for crowd control, but again, it depends on the enemy. So, yeah, TLDR of the TLDR is that lots of enemies, Venti, few enemies, Zhongli. And that also is dependent on the Abyss, because Abyss changes, so there may be some days or weeks where Zhongli is better, some days where Venti is just a better character because of the Abyss, which is the in-game content, and that is the metric used for determining the worth of a character, is the in-game. So, yeah, if you guys found this video entertaining, helpful, informative, any way, shape, or form, I would really appreciate if you slap that like button, subscribe for more content. But yeah, guys, that is it for today. Kai Zerker out. Peace and booyah.